Broadly, there are three types of PRV falling under the family of direct-acting PRVs, that is, those which are not externally powered, namely diaphragm-operated, piston-operated and bellows-operated. In a diaphragm-operated PRV, the diaphragm is the pressure-sensing element which expands and contracts. And with that, the valve's opening is controlled, which in turn helps reduce the pressure. In a piston-operated PRV, the piston is the pressure-sensing element which reciprocates in the chamber and controls the valve's opening and thereby the outlet pressure. In a bellows-operated PRV, the bellow is the pressure-sensing element which expands and contracts and controls the valve's opening and thereby the pressure. To understand the difference between these PRVs, let us understand how a piston-operated design in PRV came into existence in the first place. When need for a PRV in oil applications came, an important design criteria was to ensure that the pressure-sensing element should never rupture with wear and tear, because spillage of oil has far greater implications than with water or any other medium, as it is costly and has a fire hazard associated with it. Here, the diaphragm system would not be suitable because of chances of rupture after long period of use. Hence, the piston design similar to the engine piston was adopted. The piston, being made of a solid metal disc, has no chance of rupture or failure except for the small leaks across its rubber O-ring, and because oil is self-lubricating, the problem of friction would not be there. However, owing to its low capital cost of manufacturing, these piston-operated PRVs found its way for water applications as well. Let us understand these drawbacks. Once installed in a water application, within only some months the piston's movement becomes extremely sluggish due to the lack of lubrication, thus impairing smooth pressure control. And this problem is further compounded with the TDS or hardness present in water, which causes scale deposits around the piston. Eventually, the piston seizes. This is quite like the seizing of piston in an engine cylinder in absence of a proper lubricant. And whenever the flow or demand of water stops, the pressure rises and equalizes with the inlet pressure and causes damage to the connector pipes and other gadgets. Similarly, let us see what happened when a PRV was needed for steam application, where main concerns were high temperatures and outlet pressures as low as 0.2 bar. Engineers came with the metal bellows design, which has expansion-contraction movement and a much larger surface area to handle such low outlet pressures. These bellows-operated PRVs also found its way in water applications in buildings. But owing to its high price, they are not so commonly used except where low outlet pressures below 0.5 bar are required. Now coming to the diaphragm-operated PRV. With the expansion-contraction principle of the diaphragm, there is no reciprocatory action and therefore no friction or the need for lubrication. Moreover, with the modern-day thin-section diaphragms, the PRV responds to even small changes in flow or pressure, whereas a piston-operated PRV may hardly register any change in its control mechanism for such small changes in flow. Also, with the use of quarter-turn fittings or flush valves, the demand for water, or more correctly, the flow rate changes rapidly in less than a second. In such cases, a diaphragm or bellow will respond very quickly to such sudden change in demand, unlike a piston which has very slow movements. So, just as a diaphragm PRV is not ideal in oil application, a piston-operated PRV is not ideal for water. This table can give a brief comparison of all types of PRV with their selection criteria.